Well, hello, everyone. Come on into the webinar. Come on in, come on in. My name is Linda Peavy, and I'm going to be your hostess for this afternoon, where we're going to talk about how you get grant money for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. And I'm in the land, not too far from Cleveland, Ohio. Go Cavs, go Cavs. All right. When you come in, give that city and that state a shout out. I want to know who is here with me because today, today is going to be awesome. Hello, Lakeisha from Buffalo, New York. Now, let me just say, Lakeisha, it's in the forecast for us to get some little white stuff later on this week, but I'm not going to complain because I know you guys get plastered in the wintertime. Like I know Buffalo. I don't know why you get all the snow. So I'm not going to complain, but it has been forecast. We're going to get some little white stuff. Hello, Evelyn from Orangeburg, South Carolina. And Jody is coming in from Southern California. Jody, I bet you have no issues with the little white stuff. And Deborah is coming in from Texas. Oh, look at Texas showing up. Kiara is from Houston, Texas, and Natasha is coming in from Port St. John, Florida, and Janae from Columbus, Georgia. And Florida's coming in strong. Hello, Florida from La Plata, Maryland, and Jillian from Houston, Texas. And is it Sharita from Oklahoma? Deborah's coming in from Connecticut. And is it she or C? Coming in from Plano, Texas. Hello, Carrie from Savannah, Georgia, and Latoya from Colorado Springs. It's C. Okay. And Latoya from, Colorado Springs, beautiful Colorado Springs. I've been there, Latoya. Actually went up Pikes Peak when I was in Colorado Springs. And Mary from Atlanta, ATL. I'm in Atlanta all the time. I'm going to Atlanta in just like a couple of weeks. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Linda Peavy. I'm going to be your hostess for this afternoon, where we're going to talk about how you get grants for your woman-owned business or your woman-led nonprofit. Now, I'm getting ready to get started because I have a lot of information to share with you. And I know some of you are on a timeline. All right. Now, the first thing you're going to see is just like my little 30-second TV commercial, which will just give you some background information about me and the work that I do. And then we're off to the races. But we are live. We are live. So, as I always say, when I hit this share screen button, come on through, technology. Come through, come through. All right, it looks like we are good to go. All right, all right.
Hi, I'm Linda Peavy, owner of LaPav Consulting. My passion is to place your organization on the path to excellence. Are you struggling to communicate your message, reach target audiences, or secure funding? From marketing communications to grant writing, we achieve your goals. We've worked with high-profile clients and have secured $17 million in funding for charter schools and nonprofits. Call today to discuss what your success looks like and how LaPav Consulting can help.
All right, that's just a bit of information about me. Let me make sure everybody's in the right place. All right, this is grant writing for women-owned businesses and women-led nonprofits. And this is my live noon session. All right. I have another session at 7 o'clock, which I will pop that link into the chat a little bit later, just in case you know someone who might want to hop on a little bit later. All right. Now, let me give you some background about me. They call me the grants queen because I have secured over $17 million in grants and business development. And my undergrad and graduate degrees are from the University of Akron. Go Zips, go Zips. I provide grant writing workshops all over the country for many different organizations, including Goldman Sachs, where I am a proud alumnus of their 10,000 Small Businesses program. And this is year 16 of me owning my company, Lapov Consulting. And every one of those years, I have been a professional grant writer. I'm also a member of Forbes Black, which is an organization of Black leaders affiliated with the magazine, Forbes magazine. Now, I have a business, yes, but I used to lead a nonprofit. So I want to know who is here with me today. Drop into the chat. Are you a nonprofit or for profit, or maybe you're both? Because I am finding that nonprofits are opening up for profits and for profits are opening up nonprofits. So maybe you're both. So let me know into the chat. Nonprofit, for profit, meaning you're a small business. All right. So small businesses are for profits. Or maybe you're both. Let's see. For profit. Oh, I have both. Both. Excellent. 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 Two nonprofits and a for profit. Wow. Nonprofit. All right. So let me just say this to all of you right from the beginning. There's grant money for both entities. So you're in the right place. So whether or not you are a for profit or a nonprofit or both, there's grant money. And I know that sounds a little bit odd, right? Because when you thought about a grant, what did you think about? A nonprofit. Everything's different now. So yes, there are grants for both. There are grants for your small business and there are grants for your nonprofit. All right. All right. Now, how did I get here? I used to be a publishing executive in Pennsylvania and I got hurt. And when I got hurt, I had to come back home to Cleveland to recuperate. Literally came home in a wheelchair because I couldn't even stand. It took me 2 years to recuperate. And then at the end of those 2 years, I couldn't find a job. I was in professional publishing, and Cleveland is just not the mecca for professional publishing. So I couldn't find a job. That's when I started my own company, LaPav Consulting. Haven't looked back, has been 16 years. One of my first contracted positions was to be the executive director of a nonprofit. I don't think I was there for 2 weeks before I was called into the board of directors office and told that I had to write a grant to pay for my salary. Now, let me say to you all, I had never seen a grant before. I had no knowledge of grants. But you know what? I did it. I researched. I wrote that grant. I won that grant. It paid for my salary. It saved the organization. And yes, I realized it's possible. You can write grants with no experience. I have been able to do it, and you can do it too. But you know what else it taught me? That there's this amazing connection between what you can do with grant money. You can open your organization if you are a startup. There's startup grants. You can grow your organization, right? You can hire staff. You can hire help, right? So that you're not doing it all on your own. I know some of you are doing the jobs of like 20 different people, right? So we will talk about that connection as to really what you can do with grant funding once you receive it. Now, what else will we talk about? Why this class is even important. The grant landscape. I will share some grant basics. We will talk about how do you prepare to even apply for grants? And then what do you write in the application? How do you write the application so that you are getting noticed in a sea of applications, right? And then I will show you how to conduct grant research so that you're able to find the organizations that align to your mission. And then don't go anywhere because I have a bonus surprise. We're going to do a Q&A and I have a list of grants. Now, speaking of Q&A, this is not the time to be shy, ladies. Drop your questions in either the chat or the Q&A, one or the other. You don't have to do both. And then I will get to the Q&A at the end. And before we move further, let me just say to all of you, I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. You're going to get today a copy of this replay. You'll have it tonight. I do not charge for my replays because I want you to have this knowledge. So you'll get the replay. You will get it tonight. You will have it forever. There's no expiration date on it, right? So that you can come back to it again and again and again. All right. So don't worry. You'll have it tonight. It will be free. You'll have it forever. All right, it's time to go because, as my coach always says to me, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Ladies, like, there's not going to be anybody coming to our rescue. We've got to do this ourselves. Whether you have a for-profit or a nonprofit, there's free grant money available for you. And some of you have been, whew, you've been waiting for a long time to get this going, right? You've been on the sidelines. People know that I'm a sports enthusiast. I love football. It's fourth quarter, ladies. Time to get in this game. Time to get into this game because come January 1st, you need to be ready. You need to be ready to know how to get this grant money for your organization, right? All right. Now, why are we even here? Why is this important? Because as women leaders, we need access to funding. We are underfunded. And you know what? Funding shouldn't always be about loans. There's grants available. Grants are free money, right? And what you must understand is that you can do this. You can write grants, you write. Grant writing is not what it used to be. You're not sitting in some corner for 3 months at a time writing some 500-page document. I know that's what I used to do. Now some grants are 3 and 4 pages. I kid you not. And you can do this. But what you must know is that there's a process to actually winning the grants, right? No one wants to just sit back and write a bunch of grants that they're not being approved for. That's what I've learned after winning $17 million. So there's a process. And I'm going to teach you how do you place your organization in the best possible position to not just write a lot of grants, but to win grants. All right. We're ready to rock and roll. Now, first of all, why is there so much money still available right now, right? Right now. Your typical like community foundations, your family foundations, they're still predominantly giving grant money to your nonprofits, right? But the corporate foundation stepped up during COVID-19 and said, these small businesses are going under. We have to do something. So a lot of the corporations, like the major corporations, they have foundations as a part of their structure, and they decided to start providing grant money to small businesses, especially women-owned businesses. So you're in the right place. Like now is the time more so than ever before, especially given the situation that we have, because we don't know what's going to happen next year, right? So you've got to be in a position to get this money. This money is free. And what I can't tell you is how long it will be available, right? But I know that these organizations have set their budgets, at least for the first part of 2025. So we know the money is available now. All right. So you have to keep asking yourself, what am I going to do to place my organization in the best possible position to get this grant funding? And I'm here to help you. All right. Now, some grant basics. What do you need to know? Grants are not paid back. Just you have to ignore a lot of the misinformation that you're getting on social media. Grants are not paid back. All right. I'm just talking to nonprofits for just the next minute. Get your 501c3. This is critical because many of these foundations that give money to nonprofits, they're mandated by their board that they can only give grant money to nonprofits with a 501c3. So you have to get your 501c3. Now, the good news is for you is that it truly used to take the IRS 6 months to even process the applications. Now it's only taking about 8 weeks. So get your 501c3. All right. Now, from this point forward in the presentation, I'm talking to all of you, small businesses, right? Your for-profits and your nonprofits, especially. This is very important with this next slide. Everybody, excuse me, look at this slide. U.S. grant annual funding. This is just from Foundation Corporation Bequest Giving. 1 year, 2023, $189 billion, billion would it be? Now, if I was to throw in individual giving, it's going to be up to 455 billion. But let's just talk about the foundation and the corporation giving. $189 billion, right, in 2023. I want you to look at this number. 189 billion, that is a lot of money, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I don't want you to think, oh, that's just like that's unattainable. Because at the end of the day, you only need what you need, right? You know what you need. You only need the amount of money that you need. So don't worry about this number being too large or it's overwhelming or there's no way. You just need a little bit, right? You just need a little bit of $189 billion. So right now, everybody in this chat, I want you to write. I just need a little bit. Everybody into the chat. I just need a little bit. You just need a little bit of $189 billion, right? Because that is a lot of money. And what I don't want you to do is be overwhelmed by it. That's what I'm talking about, right? Tamara, just starting your business. There are startup grants, right? Just need a little bit, right? Who else? Yes, Evelyn, just need a little bit. See, Deborah, are you trying to be greedy? Do you need Joyce, do you need all $189 billion? No, no, you just need what you need. So don't be overwhelmed by that number. Just keep in your head, I just need a portion of that, right? You just need what you need, Marcia, and I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how you can get just a little bit of it, right? But first, they call me the grants queen. Therefore, it's chilly outside. I'm going to have to be giving you just, nice cups of tea. Nice cups of tea this afternoon. This is the first cup. It's called Grammarly. Now, if you use Grammarly, ladies, give yourself some love right now in the chat. If you use Grammarly, give yourself some love in the chat. What is it? It is free, a free software editing tool. It will make you a better writer. You download it onto your computer. You use it for Word, for Excel, for your emails. I know some people use it for text. Why is this important? Because I do not want you submitting grant applications full of grammatical errors. No. And it doesn't matter how many letters you have behind your name. I am a professional writer, a professional grant writer, and a professional editor. I wouldn't write without Grammarly, right? And courtesy of our friends at Grammarly, we've got this phenomenal article, Improve Writing Skills Dramatically by doing these 15 things. I just want you to submit the best application possible without a lot of grammatical errors, not when you have a free program like Grammarly, right? C says she uses it for everything. Deborah says, yes, 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 yes. Marcia says, definitely needed these days. It's free. It's free homework for you. Download it. It's free. All right. Now, what are we doing here? We are preparing to apply for grants. You need your EIN, your employer identification number. Nonprofits, you need that 501c3. Now, you may need your state certification or your business license. It depends on what state you live in. I'm in Ohio. I have a business in Ohio. I must have a business license. So all of you, more homework, just check with your Secretary of State, right? Go to their website, find out whether or not you need a business license in your state. Now, nonprofits, it is mandated that you have a board of directors. So get that list together. For-profits, it's not mandated, but if you have a board, great. Get your list together. If you have any staff, get your staff members, right? List those on a document as well, if you have staff. Now, letters of support, this becomes important. Where are they coming from? It could be your church, your pastor, politicians, or right, the mayor, if you know politicians in your community, vendors, community leaders, anyone who knows about your work and your mission. Now, all of you need a current operating budget, even if you haven't started, because at the end of the day, you must know approximately how much money it's going to take for you to open up your organization. So all of you need an operating budget. And yes, you can guess, you can estimate your expenses, but you've got to know approximately how much, because it will also help you to determine how much grant money you need, right? You might be thinking, oh, I need $1 million in grant money. But once you create your budget, you realize, oh, my expenses are really only going to be $100,000. I don't need that $1 million grant. So create your operating budget. If you're currently operating, then you need your financial documents, your balance sheet, and then your profit and loss statement. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the typical components of a grant application and just give you some best practices. The summary abstract, that is the first component that you're going to see, but you always write it last. All right? Don't be fooled. You see it first, always write it last because you're going to go through your completed grant application and pull out the most compelling components and dump them into your summary. That is the first impression that that foundation will see of you. If you want to make sure it's great. All right. Now, the mission statement. And yes, if you have a for-profit, yes, you need a mission statement. You all need a mission statement because that mission statement is going to align you to the foundation that wants to give you money because you're going to align your mission. So if you are like laser focused on K through 12 education, find a foundation that also has a passion for education. And no, you don't change your mission statement based on what foundation you're seeking money from. Your mission stays the same. You should be seeking foundations that align to your mission, right? And that's what are you doing now? Your aims and your goals. So if you don't have a mission, homework 101. All right. Now, history, just don't ever leave that section blank, even if you are a startup, because guess what? You have a history too. Because now you're going to be writing about like what was the catalyst or the impetus for you starting your organization. And whatever those experiences were, you're going to include them into your history. All right. So don't ever leave that section blank. Now, leadership, that's easy. Your CEO, your executive director, but always include your board of directors because they are very much a part of your leadership team. All right. Now, this next section is how you are going to separate yourself from everybody else. It's how you describe your organization. And I want you all to think about one word: impact. What has been the impact of your organization on those for whom you serve? And use real numbers. Use real numbers. Do you have a homeless ministry? How many homeless people have you placed in shelters? Let's say you have an online coaching service, maybe an LLC of career development, right? So how many people have you led to their future careers? Use real numbers as you are describing your organization. All right. Impact. Oh, let's say you haven't started. You might be asking, what impact have I had? I haven't even started. Now you're going to talk about what you hope your impact will be. So if you're opening up maybe a tutoring organization for middle grade school kids, right? After school, you can write, well, I want my impact to be that their reading proficiency scores will increase by 3%. All right. So whether or not you've opened, write about impact. Now, this is where some of you may need to rethink how you see your organization because you have to write this application as if you are addressing an issue or solving a problem. And there's always a problem. You just have to think about how you're going to frame it on the application. And I'll give you an example. Let's say we're talking about a bakery. A bakery wants to locate in a downtown community, needs a grant. She's an LLC, let's say. And you might be thinking she's making cakes all day. What issue is she resolving with making cakes all day? But maybe she decided to open up a vegan bakery because vegans don't have a lot of great places to buy baked goods, right? So she's solving their issue. Or maybe it's all about economic development because the location where she's going to be moving to, there have been many other failed businesses. So she's concerned about the economic development of that particular area, knowing that she can make it better, right? Improve it by opening up a business there. Whatever that issue is, and there has to be one, you have to write about this because it's going to connect you to the organization that wants to give you money. Because guess what? They're giving grant money away to organizations addressing similar issues, ones that are near and dear to them, right? Now, how do you find out where foundations fund and how they fund? You go to their websites. It's always on their websites. But here's the kicker: 90% of foundations don't even have a website. That's where you've got to get creative about investigating them. All right. Now, this is where some of you just get into trouble. When I ask you, who are you helping? Over the last 16 years that I've been consulting with organizations, and I serve as a business coach for ECDI, which is funded by the SBA, I hear too often, I help everybody. I help everybody. I help everybody that comes my way. No, no, ma'am. You cannot help everybody. You have to ask yourself, who would best be served by my organization? You can't have 7, 8, 9, 10 target populations. That's how you get burnt out. You should have one, maybe two, and then even then you need to drill down further. Let's say homeless, homelessness, right? Homeless who? Homeless veterans, homeless children, homeless single mothers. You still have to drill down. You help veterans. What kind of veterans? Veterans with PTSD, veterans that need help transitioning back to civilian life. One, maybe two target populations, because foundations give according to target populations that they want to help. So if you have one or two, you can drop them into the chat and I'll respond later on during the Q&A. All right. Now, be excited about writing this grant. This is your opportunity to tell your story, how you've been able to change lives, what type of outcomes you've been able to achieve. Use real examples, use testimonials. Have your client pick up their cell phone and give you a 30-second testimonial. Put it on the homepage of your website, right? And even if you have not yet opened, I still want you to use video. Now you're showcasing the problem, right? Using real examples or case studies. But this can be so simple. Video testimonials and case studies are so important. And if you want to do like a compilation video, just make sure it's no more than 2 or 3 minutes. But video is such a great way to show impact. Now, all of you have a decision to make. Are you going to be asking for operating grants or program project grants? It has to be one or the other per foundation. Now, we love to get operating grant money, right? Because when you get an operating grant, it helps you to build up your administration. Therefore, you can use the money on whatever you want. Salaries, buildings, the lease, IT, contractors. That's general operating support grants, but only about 32% of foundations give those kinds of grants. Most grants must be applied to just particular either service or program or project of your organization. All right. Now, here is another huge takeaway. You must apply to multiple foundations. Drop into the chat. Why do you think you must apply to multiple foundations? Anybody, drop into the chat why you think you have to apply to multiple foundations. Keep in mind, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. All right. Why do you think you have to apply to multiple? Deborah says, because everyone is applying. There's competition. Yes. Yes. Not all are approved. Exactly. Who is this? Not all are approved. Marsha, that's it. That's it. Grants are not guaranteed. Don't let somebody be whispering in your ear saying, "Oh, I can guarantee you some grant money." I hear horror stories almost every day about people being scammed. No, grants are not guaranteed. You have to apply to multiple foundations to get the grant funding. All right. Now, I cannot overstate the importance of you building community partnerships. Doesn't matter if you are a startup, for-profit, nonprofit, doesn't matter. This is critical. First of all, it's going to be on the grant application. But there's two reasons. One is going to strengthen the grant application because foundations don't expect you to work alone. Again, that's how you get burnt out. Connect with community organizations. There doesn't have to be an exchange of money. It depends on the nature of the relationship. Now, let's say you have an accounting firm, you're a for-profit. You go to your local library and give a tax talk 1 hour a month. You know you're going to have an audience. People need to know about their taxes, right? That's why you need to collaborate with a well-respected organization. You know they're going to promote you. That's what libraries do. I think libraries are criminally utilized. I just went through a tour, right, teaching at my local libraries. So they're going to promote you, which brings me to reason number 2. It will increase your level of visibility by connecting with these well-respected organizations that are already known in your community. Now, by you working with them, you get a little bit of their shine. You will raise your level of visibility because some of you have great programs. Nobody knows about it. Nobody knows about the program. Nobody even knows about you, not even your own community. That's why by connecting with these organizations, you raise your level of visibility and you start to get noticed. And you want to be noticed in your community because that's where the funding is, right? All right. Now, when you're writing the grant application, think about what your goals are going to be because you have to write down your goals. You have to let the foundation know if I get this grant money, this is what I expect to happen. But they have to be SMART goals, right? SMART goals are what? Specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. Now, let's say I have a literacy program and I write down, I want to reduce the poverty rate in Cleveland. Well, that's a goal, right? But that's not a SMART goal. A SMART goal would say, I want to reduce the poverty rate by 5% in Cleveland for Hispanic children under the age of 5 within a 5-year time frame. So into the chat, what did I do there? What did I do? How did I change the goal into a SMART goal? Into the chat, anybody. Like, what did I do? How did I change the goal into a SMART goal? Into the chat, what did I made it more targeted, Deborah. I made it more specific. What else did I do? Florida Eyes talked about who would benefit. Yes. Specific target group, Evelyn. Yes. What else did I do? Rewriting and adding. There we go. C, got it. I made it measurable. I made it measurable. What did I use there? 5% Hispanic children under the age of 5, 5-year time frame. I added data and stats. Anytime you want to create a SMART goal, make sure it's measurable by adding data and stats. All right. Now, just keep in mind that you may have to revise or update your bio because foundations do want to learn about who you are as the leader. So that may be more homework for some of you. Just know that you'll probably have to update your bio. Now we're on to the money. This is the grant budget. This is how you're going to discuss ways in which you will be utilizing the grant funding. And you have to be specific. Itemize those expenses. You want to hire, let's say, an executive director for $50,000. You can't just write into the grant application, I need 50 grand for an ED. No, be specific. Is it a contracted executive director? If so, how much are you paying the person per hour? How many hours will they work a week? How many weeks out of the year? You need supplies. What are the supplies? What are they being used for? How many do you need? How much is each one? Be specific. The description of how you're going to use the money goes into the budget narrative. The actual numbers go into the budget, usually an Excel file. All right. Now, I love sustainability because you may get grant money in year 1. It doesn't mean you're going to get grant money in year 2. And now foundations are wanting you to lay out in grant 1 in that first application. If you don't get the grant money in year 2, how are you going to sustain your organization? We're going to do a little activity really quickly. I want you to think about a high school. A high school got a $20,000 grant in year 1, but they had to write in that same application. If they didn't get the grant money in year 2, how are they going to sustain paying for that tutoring program, right? So into the chat, I want you to write, how do you think a high school could indicate on a grant application, if we don't get that second grant in year 2, we're going to be okay because we have a way to pay the $20,000 for the program. What do you think they wrote? Anybody into the chat? Absolutely. That's it. Antoinetta and Jillian, fundraisers. How about those old car washes, right? They can say, we're going to do bake sales, right? Booster clubs carry absolutely. Your booster clubs. What about some type of community event where they're providing like maybe a talent show, right? Can trade for college credit to volunteers, absolutely. Hustle selling, right? Those are like the candy, right? The candy, the car washes, asking for donations. Yes. Yes. Oh, see, I'm going to respond to that when we get to the Q&A. This is critical to have a plan. Yes, see, listen to see. Yes, you've got to have a. Let me just quickly tell you why this happened. A lot of organizations were getting grant money in year one. And then when year two came and they didn't get the grant money, there went their program, there went their organization. And foundations were like, wait a minute, we should not be placed in a position where we feel like we have to give you grant money in year two. What is your plan? What is your skin in the game? What are you going to do if you don't get the grant money? You've got to have a plan, right? And be creative, like these people in the chat. It could be anything from in year two, we're going to hire or we're going to bring in a volunteer grant writer. In year two, we're going to raise our prices. In year two, we're going to start placing ads, right? Something to bring in the money so that you can help to sustain your organization once that grant gets you off, right, off the ground. All right. Now, this is the slide that you want. Like, this is it. If you don't take anything else away from this webinar, this is a slide. You are going to have to meet with the foundation. Look, this is as important as anything you will ever write in the grant application. I'm going to say that again. This is as important as anything you will ever write in the grant application. You need to meet with the foundation. You need to build this relationship. And this is not difficult. This is a 30-minute Zoom meeting. Now, if you are meeting with the foundation and they are in close proximity to you, go in person. But a lot of these national foundations, right? This is a Zoom meeting, 30-minute Zoom meeting. In this meeting, that foundation oftentimes will give you more information about the grant that's on their website. And you're talking passionately about your organization because you're there building relationship, right? One Zoom meeting I set up 30 minutes, client got $30,000. I probably set up 1,000 of these meetings in the last 16 years. This is as important as anything you will write in the grant application. Do not be afraid. They want to meet with you. They want to meet with you. All right. So, and you can do this. Zoom meetings, 30-minute Zoom meetings, right? Now, I know what some of you are saying. Linda, this sounds great. It sounds good, but I don't have time for this. I don't have time to write these grants. I don't have time. Well, to all of you, remember what I said at the beginning, that some of these grant applications are 2 and 3 pages? That's true. That's accurate. They are. And I want to ask you a question. I want an answer. I want an answer in the chat from all of you. Do you have time to get free money? Like, do you have time to get free money? Let me see in the chat if anybody has time to get free money. Oh, I'm saying yes. I'm saying yes, yes. I'm saying I will make time. I'm saying absolutely. I'm saying yes, 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 yes. I'm saying yes. So if you have time to get this free money, Janae says, I got time today. If you have time to get this free money, I need for you to spend just a little bit of time on the process, to get the free money. All right. This is what you're going to do. All of you, you're going to send an email to that foundation. Once you find that foundation, you're going to send an email. In that email, you are going to describe your organization. You're going to talk about who you serve, how you serve them. You are going to align your project or your mission to the mission of that foundation, right? You are not asking for money. No, in this email, you're asking for a meeting, right? You're asking for a meeting. And you need to make sure this gets sent to a real person at a real email address, because if you do, they will contact you. They will contact you and set up that meeting. And that's the start. That will make all the difference in the world to you. Again, placing your organization in the best possible position to not just write a lot of grants, but to win grants. Now, it's time to find the grants. This is grant research. You're going to be conducting grant research. Now, FDO, Foundation Directory Online, that is the leading source of information on organizations that provide grants. They don't give you a list of grants, they give you a list of organizations. So if you're in Detroit and you're looking for an organization that will help you help veterans with PTSD that need assistance in transitioning back to civilian life, they will give you a list of organizations that fund such program. Now, they're $50 a month to subscribe, or guess what? They're free at your local library. Free access. Grants.gov, that's your federal grants, right? Lilly Foundation is the largest fund of religious organizations. Grant Watch, I love them. They're $20 a week. Now, they will give you the list of actual grant opportunities, plus the synopsis of the grant, plus the sponsor of the grant, plus the sponsor's contact information, plus the deadline. $20 a week. Get you a list of grants from Grant Watch. Or they're also $200 for the entire year, which is a huge deal. Grant Station, they also provide a list of grants. They're $200 for the entire year. And I think they do one of the best jobs of really allowing you to just hone in on the nature of your programming or your service. UrbanAwarenessUSA.org, I know they're Black owned and they provide probably information on maybe 4 or 5 grants a week. And they have free training. Sign up for them. All right. Now, this is Grant Watch, $20 a week. I want to show you how you get your list of grants. In the middle, you check, am I a nonprofit or a business or an individual? Check whichever one is appropriate. Look to my left, you're going to start just applying filters. What type of organization are you? What type of grant do you want? Who is your target population? Who are you helping? What is your subject area? You input that information, you press a button and get a list of grants. Now, let me say something to you about location. This is critical. People, please, please, please start local. It's so much easier to get local grant money, so much easier. Please don't be seduced by these $2 and $3 million government grants. They're very difficult to get. You usually need a partner. I received them before I know how hard they are to get, right? Start local. Start local. I want all of you, when we're done, this is going to help some of you so much because so many of you are leaving money on the table. I want you to Google local community foundation near me. Google this when we're done. Local community foundation near me and meet with them. You'll thank me later. All right. All right. Now, don't disregard the national organizations that are providing grants, right? Just because the foundation is headquartered in Connecticut doesn't mean they're not helping you and you're in California, right? So local, national funders, absolutely. Research both. All right. Now, I said I had a list of grants. This is just a quick list here. HelloAlice.com. If you are a business owner, please sign up for HelloAlice.com. Right now, they have several food and beverage grants, or they may have added more. Main Street grant. Do you have a brick and mortar? Do you have like a physical location? You need to apply to the Main Street grant. Now, some of these deadlines have passed. That's okay. It is important for you to sign up to the newsletter so that you know exactly when that next grant opens. Many of these grants have multiple cycles, multiple rounds, like the beauty brand at L'Oreal and the NAACP. They just ended round 2. Round 3 is coming up. Amber grants for women now, year round, $30,000 a month. $30,000 a month every month. $10,000 is earmarked for a particular theme, and November is creative arts. If you have any organization or programming or work in creative arts, apply for that grant. Another $10,000 is earmarked to startups. So Amber grants for women. I won't go through these all. NASE, Visa, 37 Angels. Do you need a significant amount of money? Try an investor. 37angels.com. Busy and Sky's the Limit. Those are strictly for startups, right? And then again, there's that startup grant and Amber grants for women. Now you might be saying, Linda, I'm too small for this. It's just me. I'm teeny tiny. First of all, it should never just be you. We'll talk about that in a second. But organizations like Amarillo, that's all they do is provide grants to super small organizations. Or you might say, Linda, I don't even have a paid staff. Did you know that all volunteer organizations can get grant money too? I know of some that do, right? So yes, you can be small. Yes, you can have an all volunteer organization. By the way, for you solopreneurs, it should never just be you. Should never just be you. Look to your local community college for interns. Some interns don't want to be paid. They just want the experience. Get yourself help. All right. Mustard Seed, that's for faith-based organization. Then Google, as I said, local community foundation near me. And then network. Join other women's organizations. Let people know who you are and what you do. There's amazing connections for you out there. And oftentimes they're free, right? Especially if you show up to some of these sessions or these meetings that a lot of the organizations provide. Like you can do this. All right. Now, really quickly, I want you to put into the chat. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about banks? Oh, I see some great questions. Keep asking. Drop your questions in the Q&A. Keep asking the questions. I see some really great questions. All right. Tell me what you think about when you think about banks and money. Lots of local credit unions host meetups and have grants. I'll talk about that in a second. Loans, loans. Oh, I see some great questions. I can't wait to answer those. Loans, savings. Did you know that banks are some of the largest providers of grant money? Grant money. And guess what? It doesn't have to be your bank. It can be a bank in the community, like with a great presence, right? Headquartered bank, regional bank. And yes, they give money to for-profits and nonprofits. I'm going to give you four hot leads. Four. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they provide grants to for-profits and nonprofits. TD Banks provides grants to nonprofits. Truist, Truist, they provide grants to for-profits and nonprofits. But don't call them and say, do you have any grant money? You have to go to these links and meet with them. All right. Now, remember I said there's a lot of money available. This is the bonus surprise. I want to be able to help you to place yourself in this position to get this grant money. So what did I do? I created a grant writing course for you. Step by step, it has been proven. So many organizations have received grants from taking this course. This is how I won $17 million, by the way. I put it in the course step by step so that you could do the same. But what is critical is that it includes my coaching. That's what makes it different than some of these other courses out here. This includes my coaching because I know I can help you. Now, the course is going to teach you how to write a grant, right? It's going to teach you how do you research to find grants. But my coaching, let's say you set up that meeting with the bank. I'm going to coach you as to what you say, how do you say it, what do you bring with you, what do you listen for, right? Excuse me, the course is going to teach you how to write a budget. I have templates and samples and examples. But the coaching, when you ask me, okay, Linda, I am getting ready to write this budget. I'm going to help you determine how much you should be asking for. Should you be asking for program project dollars or operating dollars, right? This is the difference. You get 12 modules, 35 lessons. Every lesson comes with a video. But here's the difference in this course. Over the past 16 years, I've been hired to literally create and build grant applications and write grant questions, right? So I know what kind of questions you're going to be asked. I've seen them for 16 years now. I utilize those questions to create the course. This is where you do the work, the real work, because I'm going to be asking you those questions you're going to answer and create this beautiful grant template. You're going to use that template to start applying for grants because you've answered in-depthly my questions. So you're going to be super ready. This is why it makes it easier and it's faster doing it this way because you go through the course and I have templates. You can create a Word document. I have a grant application template if you want, so that by the time you start applying for grants, you are ready because you've already provided the answers. And yes, I give you grant examples, and every grant example in this course I wrote, and every grant example won money. And I do something nobody else in the country is doing. I give you a list of over 600 funders. And I have a Facebook group that is amazing. When I think about it, I always say, like the young kids say, this Facebook group is lit. It just is. The students, 2 weeks ago, the students started 8 different chats so that they could all help each other. It's amazing because every student wants every other student to win. I have a community. There's no competition here. I have a community where students collaborate, work together. It is amazing. And that's what you need because there are scammers out here. I mentioned this before, and I'm at the point now where I'm hearing horror stories every single day about somebody being scammed. Come to a safe space. Ask me questions. This is where the coaching happens. Ask me questions in the Facebook group. If I'm in the Facebook group, I will answer them. And I'm in there a lot. I always say you'll be sick of seeing this face in the Facebook group. But I also have other grant writers, CEOs, people with doctorates in English education. Come in and ask your questions. You will be helped. And then I give you one bonus, an hour of group coaching live with me. 1 hour. That's not just one and done. Like you have an hour and then you go about your business. No, that's every month. And the next one is next week. And you want to be on that group coaching call. You want to be on the group coaching call. Like I'm here to help you. This is for people who are serious about getting this money. I'm here to help you so that you can move forward and be unstuck. Do not ever be afraid to ask questions. All right. Now, this is not what you're paying. This is what the course is worth because I've had it audited 3 times now. 12 modules, 35 lessons worth $3,549. The videos are worth $599. The funding list is worth $500. The workbooks, planners, and grant trackers, you have to stay on track. Worth $350. That's not what you're paying though. This is the amazing part here. All right. This is what's amazing. Now, my course is worth $5,000, and I don't believe in plucking numbers out of the sky and saying, oh my, no, it's been audited. My price is $997, but I tell you, I'm trying to make this affordable for you. So I keep it at $497 most of the time. And that's what people are happy to pay because it's a $5,000 course. And the university courses, by the way, that you take online are $5,000. And guess what? You don't have access to the professor, and you may or may not have access to the course 2 or 3 months later. My course is on a totally different level because this is what I've done for 16 years, and I've secured over $17 million. You get 50% off for the next 3 days, not 50% off for the $997, 50% off of the $497. And people wonder, like, Linda, why are you giving your course away, basically? Because I know it can help you. I have other services that are, I don't know, probably 50, 60 times that amount. But I know this can help you. And I want to help as many people as possible because I know there's confusion out there. And I know some of you are so sick and tired of using your own money. So $247 for everything. It's one payment for everything. The course, the Facebook group, the group coaching. But it is for 3 days only. So you have to use this code NLV19 and like Nancy. And even if you need more help, I have more help for you. You want to pay over 2 months? You can. $137.50 now. And then in 30 days, you pay the last $137.50. Put a 2 on the end of the code so that we know you want the 2-month payment plan. NOV19N2. And you read right at the bottom, that is not an error. The course never expires. We are women leaders. We know, life happens to us. You could buy the course and be all excited, Linda, I'm starting tomorrow, and then life happens. That will not be a concern. The course never expires. Never expires. This is everything you get. I never have time to go into the letter of inquiry. That is important, though, because now that is being presented to applicants to complete even before you get asked to complete the grant application. I have an entire lesson. So you're taught how to write. It's self-paced. There's no pressure. Go at your own pace, right? You get to write every part of the grant application, plus you get the Facebook group, plus you get the live group coaching for $247, right? For $247. That's it. That's for everything. All right. And I have to say, it won't be this amount next year. It won't. Like I can't even, not even for 3 days anymore, but it is now. So you've got 3 days. All right. 3 days, 3 days, 3 days until Friday. Now, if you want to buy the course, the link is in the chat. If you want to pay the 247 one and done right, hit 497 because that's what you're getting your discount off of. So hit 497. You're going to come to this page here. Everybody look to the left. 497 comes up, but you see where it says have a coupon? You have a coupon. Input your coupon code, right? NOV19N. All of a sudden, look to the right, it's taking off 50%. You're only paying $247 for everything. And you've got 3 days to get this done, all right? You see that little block? That's a deep dive. Oh, I do a deep dive into your organization. It is a strategy session. Before you and I even talk about grants, we talk about your mission, your vision, your infrastructure, your program or your project or your service. You get the session notes. You get a video. It's $495 for the hour. You add it on to the course. The only place it's $195 is if you add it on right now when you buy the course, or else you get it later, it's $495. You want to buy it now, you have to add it to the course. You'll get it for $195. And for those of you who are making the one payment, whether it's $247 or whether you add the $195, if you're making the one payment, I have even more help for you. We have buy now, pay later. We have all three, Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. So guess what? You're spreading out payments of $247. And all three, they have 6 months, same as cash. 6 months, same as cash. You might get a grant before you even paid for the course. That's $247. That's your writing off, by the way. You write off the course. It's 100% tax deductible for you for-profits. If you are a nonprofit, listed as an expense. And yes, you get a certificate at the end of the course. Affirm will give you 12 months, 12 months with interest, 12 months with interest. But all of them will give you 6 months, same as cash. Now, if you want to just create the 2-month payment plan with us, you can. Now you're hitting 2 times 275. That's the 2-month payment plan. You hit that, you get to this page here and put your coupon code. Put a 2 on the end of that code, right? NOV19 and the number 2. Look what happens. It takes off 50%. Now you're only paying $137.50. And by the way, I don't drip my course. You get everything. The course, the Facebook group, the group coaching, which is next week. Even if you only pay the $137.50, you get everything right now. Just know you have to pay the other $137.50 30 days from now. And yes, you can add on the 195 if you want. Absolutely. You can add on the 195 to that. Now, I want everybody to look at this slide here because this is Whitney. Whitney never thought she was going to get any grant money. Whitney did exactly what I'm asking you to do. She started local, Southern Power Fund. She got $40,000. Please investigate your utility companies to see if they have a grant program. Then she went national. National Birth Equity Collaborative gave her $50,000. Whitney told me earlier this year, she ended up with $200,000 last year. Never thought she would get any grant money. And she's saying, I can now be a salaried employee of my business. Oh, isn't that what we want? $247 investment, $200,000. Look at this. Oh, and for you LLCs, right? You have a for-profit, Tranquility Point Therapeutic Massage got $20,000. We are so very thankful and grateful for your course. It's been life-changing for our business. Christina, she's an educator. May I share that I'm so grateful for Linda? I would not have had the confidence to follow through on applying for grants if it wasn't for her grant writing course. The depth of information provided is unmatched. And she's an educator. She won her first grant, $10,000. And yes, if you've never had a grant before, there's a first time for everybody. April entered a pitching competition. She said, Linda, I'm ready. You taught me how to tell my story. She came in second place, South Side of Chicago. Pitch competition, beat out 100 competitors, took home $9,000, people. And 2 weeks ago, the LegalZoom Fast Break Grant for Small Businesses was awarded to my student, Emily, $10,000 and $500 worth of product. And then Quanisha got the Walmart grant. for $750. She bought the one-on-one. She said, thanks, Linda Peavy, because that one-on-one session we had is getting my organization funded. And Miss Kimberly got 4 sponsorships in less than 2 months. Ask me the difference between a grant and a sponsorship when we get to the Q&A. All right. Speaking of Q&A, we're there. We're done. We are done. It's time for Q&A. All right. But before any of you leave, I need you to do something. I know it was one time only. People ask me all the time, the $247, is that a month? Is that what you pay per month? No, Evelyn, you don't pay that per month. It's one and done, right? Because when I said to you, I'm here to help you. I am here to help you. And yes, it's a $5,000 course. And yes, I have friends that charge $2,000 for their grant writing courses, and you get nowhere near what you're getting. You get nowhere near. All right. Before we do anything else, before we do the Q&A, everybody, I want you to do this for you, not me. I want you to write into this chat, I'm ready to get grant money. Everybody, before you do anything else, I want you to literally write. I believe in manifestation and manifesting what you want to have happen. Write this into the chat. Some of you have been on the sidelines for way too long, confused. I don't know where there are grants. I keep hearing there are grants. I've tried to write grants. Do this for you. It's go time. It's go time. It's November 19th. It's go time. And let me tell you, we don't know what is in store for us come January. As women business leaders, as women business owners, as leaders of nonprofits, we don't know what is in store for us. Take advantage of being able to take ownership and accountability and responsibility for bringing money into your organization, free money, because you can do this. I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you. I'm here to coach you through this. All right. Who is ready to get this grant money? We have, is it Corianne? Marsha, Lakeisha, I'm ready to get grant money. Latoya, Deborah C, I'm ready to get grant money. Yes, Deborah, Janae, write this down, like get this out of your spirit onto this chat. Write this down. Bring this to fruition. I'm ready to get grant money. It's fourth quarter. It's November. There's no waiting. Can't wait any longer. Cannot wait any longer. What I can't tell you, I'm telling you, is this money, I don't know how long this money is going to be available. That's the issue, because things are getting ready to change. Excuse me, okay? Lakeisha, Latoya, Deborah, yes, I'm ready to get grant money. Natasha, Evelyn, yes. Florida, Joyce, this is Melissa. This is Taru. Sharita, yes, write this down. Write this down. Now is the time, Jacqueline. Yes, Jeanette, right? This is your opportunity to get a $5,000 grant writing course for $247, which won't be available at this price next year. That I can't tell you for sure. And I have coaches too, right? You know, we all have coaches, hopefully. Hopefully you have a mentor or a coach. If you need one, I'll write into the chat where you can get like a business coach or mentor for free. All right. They tell me all the time, Linda, we are the ones we've been waiting on. And I'm going to share that with all of you. You're the ones you've been waiting on. Like, there's not going to be anybody coming to the rescue of women-owned businesses. You are the one you've been waiting for, right? And I just want you to be able to take advantage of this. I'm trying to make it a no-brainer. The $247 is one and done. I'm trying to make it a no-brainer. I really am. And then you can stretch it out if you want over 6 months with no interest, right? All right. With the $247, you get the full course, right? The entire course. You get 1 hour of live group coaching every month. Every month. You get access to the private Facebook group where you ask your questions. When you get into the course, you can ask questions literally in the course. They're called discussion starters. Let's say you're stuck and you have a question. Those come to me and I answer them. So you're getting my coaching through the discussion starters, through the live, right? The live 1 hour coaching a month, through the Facebook group. Not just me, you're getting help from other people in Facebook group. I have to share something that happened in the Facebook group. Young lady wanted to hire a grant writer, which is fine. If you want to hire a grant writer, please let me help you. But she didn't. And she gave money to someone that said, if you give me $250, I'll write all these grants for you. And they didn't. And she came into the group and she created a post and she said, Linda, this doesn't feel right. Before I could get to the post, the other students converged on the post and said, let us research this company for you. And of course they were scammers, but that's the camaraderie that I have. There's no competition in the Facebook group. You will see that the other students want all the other students to win this grant money, and they help. Oh my gosh, you want to know where there are grants? The Facebook group. I drop grants consistently, but the students, I think they drop more grants than I do. So there are grants in the Facebook group. All right, it's Q&A time. Can you apply for grants while you're in the process of becoming a 501c3 certified? Yes, I'm going to tell you how you do that. Now, I would recommend that you wait until you got the certification to submit the application. You should be researching and writing while you're waiting to get your 501c3. Don't wait until you get the 501c3 to start researching and writing, because all you're going to be doing is attaching the document to your grant application. You could be researching and writing now, right? Now, let's say for whatever reason, your 501c3 is going to not come to you for 6, 7, 8 months. Then you want to, if at all possible, get a fiscal advisor, a fiscal advisor. And that fiscal advisor must have a 501c3, right? And so they're basically applying for grants on your behalf. But if the grant is approved, they get the money and then they have to give the money to you. And I just don't recommend it. First of all, you have to really trust this organization because they're going to get the grant money if you get it awarded to you. But some foundations will accept applications from these fiscal advisors on your behalf. But try to get your own 501c3 and then research and write while you're waiting on it, and then just clip it to the application. How can I receive a grant and not pay taxes on it? If you are a nonprofit, you don't pay taxes. If you are for profit and you get a grant, you're going to pay taxes on it. Grant money is not tax free. Only if you are a 501c3 nonprofit, then you don't pay any taxes on it. Okay. Should you start an LLC and use your name? Should you be a nonprofit? That I don't advise people. I will never tell somebody whether or not they need a LLC, a for-profit or a nonprofit. Those are two very different entities. Very, very different. They require different legal structures. They require different ways in which you operate those organizations. A nonprofit, you are required to have a board of directors. And there is a minimum number of board members that you must have based on what state you live in. When you have a nonprofit, those board members are in allegiance to your mission statement, not you, even though you place them there, even though you're the founder. As a nonprofit, you are in total allegiance to your mission statement, right? And your board members can't be all family and friends. That's a huge red flag. A for-profit is different, right? So you get the profit, you decide how to disperse the profit. They're two very different organizations. Some based on, and it's also based on what type of organization do you want? Like, what is your service? What is your program? What is your project? Because some programs, there's just more money available if you're a nonprofit. So it really, really depends. If you have a desire to be a grant writer, but you have not been the best talker in writing, how can I be helped? I don't know what you mean when you say the best talker in writing. I don't know what you mean. If you're talking about you're just not a great writer, Is that what you mean? Or you're not a great communicator when it comes to writing? Then that is exactly why this course is called Grant Writing for Non-Writers. I don't expect you to be a writer. I don't expect you to be a professional writer. That's why my course is literally called Grant Writing for Non-Writers. I have a writing course built into the class to help you become just a better overall writer. That's why I recommend Grammarly, a free software editing tool, so that as you're writing, you get help from artificial intelligence like AI, because AI is built into Grammarly. But I also have a writing course. One of the sessions, one of the lessons in the course is to teach you how to be a better writer, like overall, before you even start writing the grant. It comes at the very beginning of the course. All right. I think that's what you're asking. If not, you can rephrase it. Yes, you do write it off. It is tax deductible and you get a certificate at the end. So those are the questions in the Q&A. I'm going to go over to the webinar chat because I know I saw quite a few questions in the webinar chat. All right. So I'm going to go through there, make sure I try to get all of these questions. I have both the daycare center that is a for-profit and working on opening a private school that is going to be a nonprofit. All right. My question to you is, are you getting funds for your daycare? Right? Daycare is one of the most heavily funded areas when it comes to grants. Why? Because daycare is considered early childhood education. Therefore, the government, the U.S. Department of Education, and the Department of Health and Human Services provide grants that are filtered down through the state and the county to organizations in the cities that want to open up daycare centers. All right. Let's see. Let's see. Thank you, Evelyn. Can I apply? Can I apply if I'm just starting my business? Yes, those are called startup grants. I gave you three. Busy, B-I-Z-E-E, Sky's the Limit, and then Amber Grants for Women, they have a $10,000 startup grant. So yes. Let's see, let's see, let's see. Please sign up for Grammarly. It's free. This past year, our nonprofit was awarded I don't know if that's $10,000. Our nonprofit was awarded a $10 or $10,000 1,000 book awards to graduating high school seniors. You have to rephrase that because I'm not understanding it. Will foundations fund nonprofits for future book awards or only for our programs that we do throughout the year? I'm not I'm not sure what you're asking, but what I can say to you is that just because you've won a grant before for a particular program, right? It looks like you won a grant that gave you 1,000 books to give to graduating high school seniors. And you're asking, will a foundation fund nonprofits for future book awards? Absolutely. Like this is for all of you. There is no set limit on how much grant money you can get or how many grants a particular program of yours can get. You receive this grant, you should be applying for the same grant next year. You should be applying for the same grant. You're going to have new graduating high school seniors. Don't ever think, any of you, that just because you got a grant before for a particular project, that you can't get grant money for it again. It'll probably be easier because you proved, right, that you got the grant, that you were able to utilize whatever the grant resource was, whether it was in books or money, you were able to prove that, yes, right, you got that grant and you used it. So absolutely, you can apply again. All right, let's see. Let's see. I'm just going through questions here, looking for questions. Not needed. Let's see. So think about this, the sustainability question. Think about how you're going to write in the initial application. If you don't get the grant money in year 2, you're going to be okay. It could be a host of things. You could say, I'm going to hold a dinner, a gala, a fundraising dinner where I give awards to the community for community leaders. And then you can sell tickets to the community. Let's say that community leader works for a bank. You can sell tickets to that person's employer, right? Or I'm going to raise my prices, or I'm going to start placing ads, or I'm going to get a partner that can help me market my organization so I can produce more money, right? Do you recommend adding how you will measure the data? Absolutely. The more information that you add, the better. That's even better, right? So let's say you have data that indicates let's say you have a tutoring program. You want to have as one of your SMART goals that the students will increase their reading proficiency by 3%. You also absolutely want to include, how are you going to measure that? I'm going to measure that because I'm going to utilize their state scores, their standardized state scores, or I'm going to utilize the end of course testing within their classrooms, right? So you could absolutely add how you're going to measure it. If you have a program for veterans where you want to say, I have a SMART goal that those veterans are going to be able to communicate better with their family members, right? But I'm going to measure this because I'm going to have a survey. I'm going to send that survey to their family members and to them. So the survey is the measuring tool. So absolutely you can. All right. And someone was saying that they experienced that where they went through, it looks like they maybe had some funding, a small nonprofit Christian school that was shut down due to mismanagement. So you have to always be planning, like, how am I going to get money next year? Right? Because this can't be one and done. That's why the operating budget is important. What are you going to be doing to bringing in additional funds in addition to the grant money? Right? You have to be able to plan and think about ways in which you can bring in the money. So yes, see, I agree. It is critical to have a plan. Okay, this is great. So Evelyn says, I have a friend who got a grant just by showing up to an interest group. Only a few people showed up. This is why, if you have the opportunity, be in the room. This is why it's important to network. This is why it is important to show up, right? Because if you stay at home, or if you stay working on your organization, nobody knows about it, how will organizations in your community know that you have a program that they might need? Or they may know organizations that could utilize the service that you're providing. How would they know that? Show up when you can, attend community gatherings when you can, and always talk about what you do. Don't be afraid to talk about what you do in your program, right? Because, oh, I want to give you an example. Whitney, remember I said Whitney got $200,000? Whitney got $75,000 from the Kellogg Foundation. Kellogg asked her to apply to their grant. How would you like for a foundation to ask you to apply for their grant? You know how that happened? Because Whitney was constantly pushing out her information, whether it was an e-newsletter or on social media, letting people know this is what I'm doing. She has a doula organization where she helps to make sure that women of color have healthy births, right? So she was pushing out information. This is what I do. This is what we accomplish. And so the Kellogg Foundation that happens to provide grants in that area said, oh, well, look at this person. Look at this organization. She's doing what we fund. Let us ask her to please apply to our grant. And they did. Do you think she got the grant? How many of you think she got the grant that Kellogg asked her to apply for? Of course she did. Of course she did. Right? So it makes a difference. All right. Let's see. Other questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. How long is the process? Great question. That depends, right? I can tell you approximately 3 months, but sometimes it's much, much shorter. Sometimes it's much, much shorter. All right. Let's say the deadline is December 1st and you put in your application November 20th. It's not going to take as long because after that deadline, they're going to start processing applications. Typically, if it's a community foundation, the board of directors have to meet. So then maybe it's a month or maybe it's 6 weeks, right? But it does depend. Every organization's processes can be a little different. And thank you, Mary. Mary has dropped a grant right into the chat, the Verizon grant. I'm very familiar with the Verizon grant. And yes, they do fund small businesses. And yes, they're very, very, very legitimate. Thank you, Mary. Yes, why not get free money instead of trading time for less money? Let's see. Grant Watch is great. Grant $20 a week or $200 for the whole year, right? I enjoy Hello Skip before I did the paid membership. I won a $10,000 Google grant. Currently, they give out $1,000 grants every Tuesday and Fridays, 3 p.m. on their YouTube Live. There you go. There's another grant opportunity. And what you're saying that happens in the chat is exactly what happens in the Facebook group, where students are like, did you apply to this grant? This grant is available. It's amazing. On a daily basis, right? This is exactly what happens because it's a community of like-minded individuals who need grant funding. How many grants can you get in a year's time? I spoke to that earlier. No limit whatsoever. No limit. Get as many grants as you can possibly get. All right. Lots of local credit unions host meetups and have grants. So let me say something to you about credit unions. In my experience, right? You want a grant, go to a bank, credit unions, or sponsorship. Go to a bank for a grant or a sponsorship. In my experience, a lot of credit unions, they give a lot of sponsorships, which is still free money to you. It's still free money, but oftentimes it's called a sponsorship. The difference between a grant and a sponsorship, when you get a grant, the organization cannot demand that you provide anything to them of value. They can't get anything of value from you that's tangible, that has an amount set to it, right? That is of any type of value, even if it's intangible. So, for example, a bank cannot say to you, I'm going to give you this grant only if you join our bank. Can't do that. It's illegal. A sponsorship is different. When you get a sponsorship from an organization or a bank, they expect something, right? They expect something. Either maybe they want to put their widgets into your swag bag, or maybe they want to talk to your audience, or maybe they want to put an ad in your program booklet or their name on your marquee on your step and repeat banner. That's why you have tiers for sponsors, right? $5,000 you get this, $10,000 you get a little bit more from us. All right? But absolutely go to your credit unions for sponsorships. And some of them may have grants too. All right. Evelyn says, I got a $15,000 grant for a TV ad. Good for you. Great. I have received some of those grants in the past where you were able to make like TV commercials. Let's see. I have an event decor company. Is there a grant, or can my company get a grant to help get inventory? Both. Both. Inventory would simply be your supplies, right? That's how you're going to spend the grant money. I already have an LLC, ministries where I can do many things. Recently, I added an arm, Women's Veterans United. So I would just say to you and everyone else, what are you doing? What service are you providing? So Women's Veterans United is what? Like, what are you providing? What is the program? What is the project? Right? What service do you provide to them? Do you provide mental health counseling? Right? Because we know a lot of women veterans suffer the sexual trauma when they're in the service. Do you provide counseling? Do you provide other resources? Right? As a ministry, and yes, there are grants for ministries, but what is it that you are providing that you can measure? That you can measure the success of it, right? So think about this is for all of you. Can I also add the nonprofit to my LLC, or do I need to have an individual nonprofit for women Veterans United. You can have a nonprofit that is part of a for-profit. Talk to your accountant. But yes, you can have a for-profit because for-profits do start nonprofits. So yes, you can have a for-profit that starts a nonprofit. Just talk to your accountant as to how that structure is going to be set up. But yes, you can do that. All right. Let me just see if there are other. I think I missed one here. Let me just make sure. Okay, I did answer that. All right, I did answer that. I answered the other questions in the Q&A. I'm going back over to the chat because I saw a few more questions. Let's see. Banks have a fiduciary responsibility to invest in the community, which is why they give out grants. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Which is why you need to be going to banks asking for to find out whether they have grant money, because that's not something that it's rare that they advertise that they have grants. We're in Ohio. Key Bank has a foundation that is one of the largest foundations in the state of Ohio. We have Citizens Bank. We have PNC. We have so many banks in Northeast Ohio that give grant money, but it's not something that they advertise. That's why you've got to meet with a VP. It's not your branch manager. It's not your loan officer. It's usually a vice president of economic development, of community reinvestment, of community redevelopment. I'm placing those titles into the chat so that you know who to ask for. And for those of you who want the mentors that are free, I want you to go to one SCORE, SCORE. SCORE is an organization funded by the Small Business Administration that consists of retired executives. There's one in almost every community. All right. Also, you have ECDI, and WBC, which is the Women's Business Council, where I am a business coach for the office in Cleveland. ECDI and WBC, Women's Business Council, they offer free coaching and training. All right. All right. SCORE. Yes, SCORE has great resources, right? And they're free in your community. All right. Let me go back up and just see really quickly if there are any other questions. Thank you, Evelyn. How can you tell if it's a scam? Do your research. Do your research, do your due diligence, right? So any of the grants that I'm providing to you, any of those resources where you go, like Grant Watch grants, those are all legitimate, right? All I would never even attempt to provide you something that has not been vetted. But if you're just finding information out, maybe you're Googling and you see some grants come up, do your research. Do they have a list of applicants that have received the grants? What is their application process like? Go to Trustpilot, find out whether or not they have any great reviews. I'm going to put this in here on Trustpilot. That's a very legitimate site. Or the Better Business Bureau. Please do your research. The Better Business Bureau, right? I would advise you to go to the Better Business Bureau anytime you're going to be spending your money on an organization you may not be familiar with. I absolutely recommend people to go to the Better Business Bureau for my organization, LaPav Consulting. That's my lead company. Everything comes under the umbrella of LaPav. Right, you'll see an A+ rating there. Do your due diligence research. All right, research. And if you're going to be hiring a grant writer, get references. Who have they helped? Who have they received grants for before? Do they have a website? Do they have any type of social media footprint where you can vet and find out whether or not they've received grants for other people before? All right. All right. Someone say they research me. I would invite you to do so. I would invite you to do so. If you go to my homepage, you'll see that I've worked on several presidential campaigns. So I've been through more security than most people will ever in their lifetime. All right, let's see. Let's see. Oh, the Facebook group is Grant Writing for Non-Writers. So when you buy the course, you're going to get 3 emails. One email will be your Facebook link. You click the link, we're going to get you into the Facebook group. The other email will be you create your username and password. You're not waiting on us. You get started. But before we do anything, we have to stop what we're doing because right now we have to give Tasha some love. Tasha bought the course. Tasha was like, oh, I am tired of doing this on my own. You need to be in a safe space, all of you. Be in a safe space. I want to see some love for Tasha. I want to see some heart. I want to see some clapping the hands. It goes, Tasha, you're on your way. I will see you in the Facebook group. And I'm going to ask you a question when you get into the Facebook group. Answer my question because I'm going to help you immediately. And I also want to see you next week on that live group coaching call because I'm here to help you for real, right? So give Tasha some love. All right. All right. Let me see if there are any other questions in the webinar chat. It's a one-time cost, $247 one time. You all heard that right. Right. I know a lot of you are expecting $2,000. I told you my friends have $2,000 courses and you don't even get what I give you. It's $247 so that you can at least get into this program so that you can be helped, right? So that you can be helped. I try to make it as low as I possibly can. It will not be that amount next year. It's just, I can tell you right now, it will not. All right, let's see. The offer will be emailed to you. So for the next 3 days, you will be emailed the offer with the codes, right? With the replay. This is important. Please put my email address on your safe senders list, which means just add it to your contacts because you're going to get the replay via email and I just don't want it going to your spam. All right. So yes, you'll get the replay for the 3 days where you get the 50% discount. You'll get an email to remind you, give you the replay, remind you of the offer to give you the link. All right. Let's see. We're going to wrap it up. Thank you, Evelyn. Any other questions? All right, let's see. You can spread the cost out over 6 months. I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to do this live. So bear with me. I'm going to do this live for you right now. I have to get out of the course first. All right. I'm going to do this live for you. All right. So I'm going to share my screen. All right. When you click the link, this is what you're going to see. You're going to hit $497. You're going to see this. Hit purchase now, $497. This is what you're going to see. You have a coupon. You're inputting your coupon code NOV19N. You hit apply. It will take off 50%, $247. You can add the private coaching if you want for $195. That's the only time you'll get it for $195. If you don't want to add it, you don't have to. Let's remove it. You're paying $247 for the course now. Look over here. You see what we have there? You have a choice. You can use your credit card, right? You can use, and here's, let's see. You input your email address. Now, once you get over here, you're going to actually see, you may see Klarna, you may see a little block that says other ways to pay. Hit the other ways to pay, right? You're going to see Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm. Once you click that, you'll see that they're going to give you the option of making 6 payments with no interest. right? Or 4 payments with no interest. The only interest that they are including is if you make 12 payments, right? Excuse me. And then you hit complete purchase. So this is what you're going to do. You need to create an account, put in your email address, but go to this block and it will give you the options. And again, if you don't see Klarna or Affirm or Afterpay, there will be a little section that says other ways to pay. Click those, it will drop down. If you want to make, now this is only for the one-time payment. Can you get the option to stretch out your payments? All right. All right. I'm going to stop sharing and let me see if there are any other questions. And then I'm going to go back over to the Q&A and then we're going to wrap it up. Let's see. Let me make sure there are no other. Okay. I answered all of the questions into the Q&A. We are done. We are done. So what I want to say to you is that please don't wait. You get the 50% if you buy the course in the next 3 days, and then I'll see you in the Facebook group. But please be ready. January 1st, be ready to apply for grants. And for some of you, you may know that there are grants available right now and right until the end of the year. So if you want to start going through the course and apply, you certainly can. There are grants available all year round. That's the beautiful, beautiful thing about it, right? But you really want to be ready January 1st, right? You don't want there to be any confusion or you thought you heard about some grants or saw some grants. Be in a community where you can get the help that you need. All right. All right. All right. All right. So we are done. We are done. All right. So I want to thank you all for hopping on. Hopefully, I will see you in the Facebook group over the course of the next 3 days. Hopefully, I will see you in the Facebook group. Just know you have the information and please be ready. Be ready to go. Be ready to go. All right. Thank you so much. I want you to have a safe and a blessed day and rest of your week. And whatever you do, move forward. Don't let this be another webinar you sit on and you don't do anything with the information. There's too much money available, right? Whatever you do, move your organization forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward, right? There are people waiting on your skills. There are people waiting on your talents, right? All right. So thank you so much. My name is Linda Peavy, creator of the course Grant Writing for Non-Writers, Keys to Winning Grant Proposals, and founder of LaPav Consulting. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you all very, very soon. Okay. Bye-bye.